years I started.
when my hands were empty, when my hope was gone. I couldn't help but wonder, what had I done wrong? But even though my heart was broken, there was no need to despair, 'cause a vessel must be open to put something better there. Oh yeah, into my empty hands, gently you pour new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. Now I understand, you needed my empty hands. So forgive me when I doubted, sometimes I do, or considered giving up, 'cause I cannot see the truth. I know I'll never go without it, if I only look at you. Deep and abiding love, right into my empty hand. Gently you pour new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. And I cannot help but cry to think of the gift you've given me. Now I understand, you needed my empty hands. Oh, thank you for my empty hands.
Good morning, my Unity family. This is Richard, and again, our Sunday celebration. It's also the first Sunday of Advent, and we're going to put our book aside as well, and we're going to talk about the 4 levels of consciousness today. And I think it's one of the most important topics, because when we talk about expressing into this world, or we talk about manifesting into this world, we need to understand that when we manifest from this level of consciousness for which we are at. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the intro today, because we definitely want to get started with this. So let's go ahead and move on to our slides. And it's like, as I said, it is Hope and Faith, the first Sunday of Advent. And our daily word for today is faith. Our affirmation is, my faith lights my path and guides my way. As Advent season begins, my thoughts turn to faith. I believe in my capacity to be hopeful, assured, and strengthened as I embark on this journey of faith. Faith keeps me open to discovering reasons to hope, to have hope even when I do not yet see any evidence for my hopefulness. Faith gives me assurance that my indwelling divinity will lead me to accomplish all that I set out to achieve. Faith fortifies me with the necessary strength to transcend my limited human knowledge, allowing divine wisdom to guide my thoughts and actions. I believe in good thoughts to come, and I believe in my ability to bring those things into manifestation. I am grateful for the gift of faith. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. That comes from Romans 15:13. Our inspiring thought for today comes from this year's Advent book, and I thought it was perfect. And it is a poem by James Dillard Freeman. You know who's the author of The Prayer for Protection. And it is, "If every day were Christmas. If every day were Christmas, how different life would be. If not one day, but all the year were ruled by charity. Had we the faith in miracles a child had Christmas morn, each day would be love's manger and Christ would be reborn. In us to change and heal our outworn wars and ways. Had a child's or a shepherd's gift for wonderment and praise. Yet every day is Christmas when we have learned to live by love's law, learned not how to get, but only how to give. And like a child can wonder, and like a child can pray, but have the grown-up wisdom to give ourselves away." Imagine a constant consciousness of being able to give of ourselves and not worry about what we get. So let's go ahead and move into our affirmation for today. And our affirmation I'll repeat 3 times as always. I look for the many ways the good I seek is already mine. I look for many ways the good I seek is already mine. And once again, I look for the many ways the good I seek is already mine. And our statement of faith, as always, there is one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And imagine keeping all of this and just living through this and feeling this, especially in these times as we enter into the holiday seasons, which brings up so much emotions from joy to sadness back and forth. We can be that light for each person, that hope and faith. So we lit the first candle today in inspiration and aspirations to be the light for someone else, especially in their hope and faith. We'll go into our next song and then we'll go into a centering prayer.
Standing, shaking, fearful, like the floor's about to drop down, frightened, help me, what have I got myself into? Reaching, risking, taking a chance with every move. But watch me as I faith my fears away. Oh yeah, I'll faith my fears away. Oh yeah. People looking, judging, am I ever good enough? Critical voices are asking who the hell I think I am for, daring, stepping out on the ledge. But watch me as I faith my fears away. Oh yeah, I'll faith my fears away. Oh yeah, I can fly if I try. My faith lasting lessons that I learned on Sundays, believing. Can it really be this easy? Grateful, thankful, I can do it all. So watch me as I faith my fears away. Oh yeah, I'll faith my fears away. Oh yeah, I'll faith my fears away. Oh yeah, I'll faith my fears away. Oh yeah, oh I'll faith my fears away. Oh yeah, I'll faith my fears away.
If you feel so moved, go ahead and close your eyes and just relax. Just center into this moment, this time, knowing that this is the moment in time of manifestation, the moment in time of inspiration, the moment in time of expression, of knowing that we are God in expression, and God is working in and through us and as us, as we move into a prayer. At the center of my being there is a power, which is a joyous, creative power. My recognition of this power causes it to act through me, as me. I now recognize it and say, come forth, break through every obstruction with which time and space and memory have surrounded you. Break through every pattern of the I can't, or I shouldn't, or what will happen if I do. Break through the background, heredity, and tradition. Joy in me comes out and operates through me in creative ways of good, unrestricted by my memory and by my background. Come out and operate as me. There is a joy in the center of my being. This joy I did not create, but it created me. This joy in me is spiritual power. I now release it. Nothing in me blocks it. I let it out, and it finds creative ways to appear. It reminds me that I am a whole and wonderful person. It takes me out of what I am not and into what I really am, and into what I want to do and will do. And I am grateful. And we release it, and we say it is, and so it is, and we let it be. And I say amen and amen.
Love is vast, pure waters blue. Release me there and let me drown. If God is felt in silent wind, let only nature's walls surround. If love lives high in stars above, unlock my wings that I may soar. If God is found in buried sand, I'll dig my hands in every shore. All I've ever longed for, all I'll ever see, all I've ever longed for is love. Love survives in those I've wronged, then grant me grace to make amends. If God has been there all along, then let me now my past befriend. If love love is taste, touch, sight, and sound. Let all my senses now receive. If God transcends all human doubt, forever will I trust. I believe all I've ever longed for, all I'll ever see, all I've ever longed for is love, is God. I will find you. You will find me. I will find you. You will find me. I will find you. You will find me. Sweet mystery. All I've ever longed for, all I'll ever see, all I've ever longed for is love. All I've ever longed for, all I'll ever see, all I'll ever long for is love, is God, is God,
Is love.
all I've ever longed for.
Is God.
All I'll ever see
Is love.
all I'll ever long for
Is God.
Good morning, Unity family, again, and today's lesson is the 4 levels of consciousness. I'm going to be off camera today just to give you the slides because I really want you to get and see the levels here, really get into what we're going into. And then again, it's a high level. So if you have a notepad, take a notepad out, take notes. If you're good at memory, I mean, we always say that the shortest pencil is better than the longest memory, but take heed, because when, as I said before, when we manifest from a place of our consciousness, and if our consciousness does not match what we're looking to manifest, we will manifest what we don't want. I love Michael Bernard Beckwith in one of his talks says that worry is us manifesting into our life what we didn't want in the first place. So that tells you if we come from a place or a consciousness that's not serving us, then the manifestation that comes into our lives is what we didn't want in the first place. So the teachings that I'm going to give you today are based off of the teachings of Reverend Ken Daigle and his work for absolute abundance. It's from the advanced prosperity training that he did. It is the most advanced of the 3 trainings that he does, and as I said, I hope to one day bring those trainings to Unity, because it really changed my prosperity outlook, how I act and where I go. And in fact, in the flight training is also the book the Big Leap as part of its training. So it tells you that we're on the right track, we just need to get ourselves there. And the 4 levels of consciousness actually comes from the metaphysical training that we do in Unity. And the book is The Heart-Centered Metaphysics, again, written by Paul Hasselbeck, Reverend Paul Hasselbeck. And if you ever get a chance to actually listen to any of his talks or to be in any of his classes, he's truly a doctor of metaphysician, a true teacher. So the 4 levels, and you've heard me talk about this before, is victim. Anything is when my mind believes it's happening to me. Victor is when I think it's being done by me. Vessel, through me, and verity, oneness, as me. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about those levels. And again, I want you to pay attention as I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, because I just want you to get an overview of what each level does. And my commentary on it is going to be based on why each level is important that we move through it. And of course, the oneness or the verity consciousness is that Christ consciousness that we're working toward. Our 5 principles, our 12 powers, all of that brings us to that level that we want to be at. So with that being said, let's start with victim consciousness. Everything's happening to me. So what is the default consciousness here? It is the external forces control what happens. Other people can affect my well-being. Things are always happening to me. Our thought pattern in this consciousness is usually, why does this always happen to me? Life is hard. I never get a break. I got hit with a cosmic 2x4. I used to say spirit would come and kick my butt. There's so many things that we think when we think everything's happening to us. The tools that we are given, or the tools we used in victim consciousness, is giving up, complaining, commiserating, blaming, justifying, patience. I tell you all the time when I share my own story that I've lost a lot of people in my life because I used to be that commiserating person. We used to sit around and be negative about everything and talk about everything, and everything was bad and everybody was against us and we were blaming everybody. Nothing was ever our fault. And that's when I knew I was definitely in a victim consciousness. I needed to move away from that. So some of the advantages in victim consciousness, yes, you would think there would be no advantages, but in some people's eyes, this is an advantage. Gaining sympathy to receive help. And receiving help is not a bad thing, but when we manipulate to receive help, people who are constantly sick because mentally they know that if I stay sick, I can get sympathy and I'll always be helped. People playing lack mentality. You know, oh, woe is me, because people want to come help me now. So those are the advantages, as they say, for people who want to stay in this consciousness. But the opportunity we have here is to move into the next layer. So we can give up blame and shame. We can give up despair, and the opportunity is there to change, to become better. So like I say, some people know the term, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. But for me, the one that spoke to me was, change will only happen when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. So I want you to really internalize that, because a lot of times we say, well, I don't need to change. And I've been in a lot of, relationships, friend-wise, where people are like, well, why do I need to change this and that? And you can see the consciousness they're in. But we know that it is not our job to change them. It is our job to change ourselves. So we also want to talk to ourselves. We want to make sure that we're looking at our own self and know that if we're here and we don't want to be here, then we need to look that the pain of change is now less than, is greater than the pain of staying the same, and we can move into that next level. Excuse me. So let's talk about victor consciousness. Now, this is something that you probably, if you've done any self-development work like I have or have done, is always the level that people talk about. It is the level of being a victor over your own life. So the full consciousness is, by my choices, I determine my life. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Things are happening for me. Thoughts is, I can accomplish anything I put my mind to. I can control my thoughts and my life. Some of the tools that we use to get to this level are affirmations, denials, vision boards, affirmative prayer, guided meditation, power poses. And if nobody knows what a power pose is, sometimes when you're doing motivational work or inspirational work and you want somebody to really feel an affirmation, you'll tell them to get into a power pose. Some people do the Superman, which is the hands on their hips, or hands up, You know, whatever makes them feel powerful in that moment. That's what a power pose is. So right now, this is the second consciousness. So I don't know if any of you did. I know when I was learning this, I was like, well, why does this sound bad? Why is this only the second one out of 4? And we'll get to that in a second. So what are some of the advantages? Self-empowerment, action-based, proactive disposition, manifesting into the physical. And the opportunities to understand what that you desire may show up in a form that you never considered before or from where you least expect. You know, there's the Bible story where our master teacher sees the crippled man on a blanket, and he asks him why he's not bathing in the water that supposedly has healing power. And he says that because nobody has helped me. And he's sitting there and he's giving him stories and stories until the master teacher tells him, pick up your blanket and go into the water. So here's a victor consciousness, because the man does pick it up and goes. But for so long he played victim. And now here he is. He's overcome his fear. He's overcome his sin, his missing the mark. And he's moved on. Now there's a second part to the story, but this I'll take you into the next level. But let's take a quick look at Victor Consciousness by me. So if any, you know, I'm a big fan of Michael Bernard Beckwith, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith of the Agape churches and movement. And he has a visioning process. And it kind of mimics ours, except that he calls this one the manifester stage. And in the manifester stage, because it can also be a manipulative stage where you use your imagination, your visualization, your affirmations and thoughts to alter your reality, positive growth happens and you are willing to let go. So what's so bad about that? Well, the stage is dangerous because we feel tempted to stop there, because we get what we want and think that's what life is all about, but it's not. This here kicked my butt because I thought, I got this. I'm probably in vessel consciousness. I just got to reach verity consciousness. I got this. I got this. I'm manifesting things into my life. Things are appearing. Things are great. This is that. Yeah, we have some challenges, but I can overcome them. I can do this. I got it. And then when I heard this, and I'm giving you a very high level of this, but when Michael Bernard Beckwith and you listen to the lecture of this level, you're like, oh, and I hung my head. Like, why? Why was I here? And here's a very simple explanation as to why. See, when we rise to the level of victor consciousness, we overcome something. But to continue being in the victor consciousness, we have to return to victim consciousness. And it's a vicious cycle. Something must keep happening to me. This way I can overcome it by solutions initiated by me. And I want you to really grasp that, because we get to victor consciousness, like it says, and we think, yeah, we're victor, we got this, we're going to get this great. But then we don't realize that we have to continuously be a victim to be a victor. So something must keep happening to me. This way I can overcome it by solutions initiated by me. So this is where we kind of put God away. We kind of put the good away. We just think that we are these soldiers that overcome. And yes, I've been here. I know what it is to sit there and, you know, yeah, I got this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And in reality, it doesn't come out the way it should, because I have to be a victim again. And life doesn't feel happy because I have to keep overcoming. And when we hear life is tough, this is usually why, because we have to keep climbing the mountain to fall back down. So I'm spending just a touch bit more on this because I really want you to understand this point. I really want you to understand that it's okay to be a victor, to actually overcome things. But let's continue moving upward the mountain. Let's not keep falling down to keep climbing up, to keep falling down, to keep climbing up, to keep falling down, to keep climbing up. And I hope you're getting that illustration, because it hurts just talking about it. So let's move on to our next level, and that's vessel consciousness. And I shared my story in this level, and I'll share it again at the end of our talk here. So the default consciousness here is God is at work in me. The universe has a plan. Divine order is at work in this situation. Our thought pattern is that it's not done by, is not done by me, spirit flows through me. I am an instrument of the divine. God gave me this situation. And the only issue here is, even though we've risen above Victor consciousness, is that we still see a separation. There is still spirit in us. There is still God in us. It is no longer we as. So this is where we're here. Now, nothing wrong with being here either. Again, this is another step in our evolution. This is another step in our spiritual growth. This is where we begin to see what needs to happen. We use tools, visioning, meditation, beginner's mind. And beginner's mind is that return to that childlike mind, that mind that we had when we were born, that we had no notions or opinions or anything. We just knew what we needed. We knew who we are, and we moved through that. There's an openness and flexibility. There's surrender and forgiveness, where we are willing to surrender to something greater than us, or at least a perceived greater than us, and forgiveness. And we talk more about that in the next level. We take the ego out of the equation, and that's the advantage here, and manifestation beyond imagination. So these are when things start happening. So we've passed the victor consciousness. We are now allowing something to come through us. Our opportunities to give up the idea of separation. So this is where we got to grow to the next level. The opportunity to own our power, the opportunity to redefine God for ourselves. So this is the let go and let God. This is where thy will be done prayer. Knowing I can lean on faith and not only my understanding or getting in my own way. And I shared my story quickly here when I said when I got laid off of my last job. I had run out of unemployment at this point. I was doing a business that wasn't doing well at that point. I didn't know what was I going to do. You know, there was no more money coming in. And I remember sitting there, and I remember praying to myself, and I said, well, all these teachings I'm learning in Unity, how do I use this? And I sat there in prayer, and I remember saying the words, God, I know I need to get out of my own way. And I surrender to whatever it is that thy will be done. And that's what always got back to me, thy will be done. That was my surrendering moment. The next day, I was called in for an interview. The day after that, I was hired. It is now 8 years that I've been with web.com, and that's where it all started from. It was my vessel consciousness. But as you continue to grow through this, you understand that your opportunities, again, is to give up the idea of separation, to actually own your power and the opportunity to redefine God for yourself. So I have a little warning here, because as we move into this next level, this is the level we want to get to. This is the Christ consciousness we want to attain. We hear it constantly in our biblical scriptures of, may the mind that was in Christ be in you. You know, it is through the renewing of your mind. So this is that level. But the problem is, as we get to this level, we start to say statements that may butt into our embedded theology, which is past religious or spiritual teachings. This is the level where we have that separation and we call out to different things, and we're going to bring that in. So we bump into what's called chemicalization. Charles Fillmore talks about chemicalization in The Revealing Word, which is a condition in the mind that is brought about by conflict that takes place when a high spiritual realization contacts an old era state of consciousness, or possibly embedded theology, which I added here, past religion or spiritual teachings. So as we go into this verity or oneness consciousness, it is as me. This is the level we want to be at. There is no separation between me and the divine. There is no separation between me and anything or anyone else. Divine order is at work as me. This is where we talk about divine order coming from a place of divine spirit or divine God. We talk about it coming from there, but in reality, it's coming as us. We are tapping into our higher selves, and we've let that flow through us and into expression into the world. Our thoughts are God and I are as one. We talk about this all the time when we hear our master teacher talks about the Father and I are one. I am divine. I am spirit. I am Christ. I am God. Ooh, that last one. How many people kind of went, oh, wait, oh, hold on. This is where that chemicalization process comes in. The tools we use, again, meditation. Now we talk about oneness prayer. Affirmative prayer is great, but when we come into that prayer where we actually talk about oneness as we are part of this prayer, we are the prayer. If I am God and my life is the prayer that God is praying, then understand that when we pray in oneness, we are just bringing and expressing out. Consciousness studies, very important here. Consciousness studies. We need to truly practice and get into our studies. We surrender. We practice true forgiveness. That forgiveness that was defined by Reverend McDowell. I remember that day when he said that true forgiveness is when you can look back at the situation and have no emotional attachment to it. And again, patience. There's a lot of work to be done to get to this level. And there's a lot of things that sometimes will hit us and we want to run to every level. The advantages of being in verity and oneness consciousness: peace, serenity, stability, manifestation into the spiritual realm. And then the opportunities to see past our current consciousness and limits. Imagine being at a point, and I'm there sometimes and I'm not there. I fall back in levels, and this is something good, but I know there are times where things come now and the challenges no longer seem like mountains. They're just there. It's just is. And I know that my consciousness level will allow me to see it, bless it, and move forward. So where are you today? What is your consciousness? Where did you hear yourself? And again, this teaching isn't just to unity. In Christianity, Jesus taught the kingdom of heaven is within you. Muhammad says those who know themselves know their Lord. Confucianism teaches that those who know completely their own nature know heaven. Hinduism teaches that individual consciousness and universal consciousness are one. And Buddhism says, look within you, or look within. You are the Buddha. Just like we say, you are God in expression. So with that being said, I don't want to bore you too much. I wanted to keep this short and simple. I wanted you to kind of hear this because I know it's playing at your heartstrings. It's messing with your mind. It's like, wait a minute, what is this? And imagine our metaphysical training is literally 40 weeks long. It's 4 10-week sessions to get part of this, and this is part of one of the 10-week sessions. So what you got today was a super high level. So again, our homework this week: ask yourself, what level of consciousness do I most frequent at this time in my life? What is the next level I need to work toward, and what can I do to get there? What tools, opportunities do I have to make this change? Most important in this is practice, practice, practice. Keep doing it, keep doing it. Don't worry about it. It'll work out. Just keep going and you'll see things start to happen, but don't run back. And if chemicalization hits, keep going. This affirmation that is affirmation that you're headed in the right direction. Just stand tall, knowing who you are. I always like to use I think it's Winston Churchill who said it. He says, if you're going through hell, keep going. Again, chemicalization just means we are headed in the right direction, but our old thinking is trying to hold us back. As always, I'm thankful for you. I hope you got something from today. Again, this is a lot to take in, and if anybody wants, I have a chart that was given to me from the training that I can send out. If anybody wants that chart, that kind of breaks down everything I talked about, so you can have it for yourself. But again, it would be a wonderful world if we all reached oneness consciousness. I see it in you, and I hope that you see it in me, and I hope together we can get to that level. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I've been wandering in this blind spot for so long. Every turn I take seems to be the wrong one. Everywhere I look, I see endless possibilities. And I know all I need is just a little faith. Just a little faith when the storms of life are blowing. Just a little faith will get you where you're going. When you're inspired by dreams inside your mind, in your life it feels so hard to find. Whoa, you can make them all appear. Hold that picture loud and clear. And all you need to add is just a little faith. Just a little faith when the storms of life are blowing. Just a little faith will get you where you're going. Just a little faith is all it takes to get your feet put back in place. It's all you'll ever need, y'all. Ask and know that you receive. Act as if you do believe. Don't give doubt a chance to call. You can really have it all. Just a little faith when the storms of life are blowing. Just a little faith will get you where you're going. Just a little faith when the storms of life are blowing. Just a little faith will get you where you're going. Just a little faith when the storms of life are blowing. Just a little faith will get you just a little
So I hope you got something from that lesson and actually understand where you are in consciousness and where you want to be. Now, we all want to aspire to be the Christ consciousness, the verity consciousness, the oneness consciousness, but we have work to do. We all do. So don't be afraid to say, hey, I am at victim consciousness right now. Don't be afraid to say you're at any other consciousness. And don't be afraid to say, hey, I thought I was here and I'm really here. And I realized that when I thought I was at vessel consciousness way back, it turned out I was still at victor consciousness or manifester level, and was actually stating that I thought I knew it all at that point, and realized that I had so much more to grow. And I realized as I moved into vessel consciousness, as I moved into verity consciousness, the difference in how things work. So with that, let's go ahead and just quickly go through our announcements. As always, we still have our classes going on. This week we'll be talking about prayer and affirmation as our third principle. Proving the power, again, is Tuesday at 7 p.m. I will be sending out an email with the Zoom link again, as well as on our Facebook page. Next week we're going to back to the book with Lee as we talk about living in Einstein times. And as we always say, hopefully you've gotten your book by now, or if not, the audio. But whatever, you want to make sure you're making your notes and taking in everything that we cannot provide you, because we have a short time to do so. Ways to contribute, as always, we have our contribute button on the website, our PayPal link on YouTube, as well as you can mail it in and we'll make sure we take care of that for you. Realize Amazon Smile, choose us as your nonprofit. And again, a lot of the apps now give you a way to stay on Amazon Smile, which makes it easier. I did some shopping this weekend and everything said, you know, donation to Unity of NEPA. So I know even though it is a small amount, little amounts add up to help us do what we do. So with that being said, let's quickly just enter into prayer. And just a gratitude prayer of knowing that we are grateful for being here today. We are grateful for having a safe and wonderful holiday we just came out of, where we gave gratitude and thanksgiving for everything we have. We give thanks for all that we have around us, all the challenges that are making us grow and become better. We give thanks for the people who've joined us here live, as well as those who have joined us later, listening to the lesson, getting something from the lesson. And finally, we take our gifts in our hands, and we are so grateful to be able to help this ministry as we say, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we know it's going out to do great works, and we say it is, so it is, and we let it be. Amen. And let's bless our children as always. If they are there, bring them to the forefront. If not, just bring them to the forefront of your mind and heart. As we say, we love you, we bless you, we honor you, that divinity in each of you, and we see you doing great things. And with that being said, I have done a kind of a sing-along for the prayer, for the Let There Be Peace on Earth. So please feel free to sing with us. My daughter and I recorded the track, and we kind of try to bump it up a bit, as well as the prayer for protection will follow. And as always, I am grateful for all of you. Thank you. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds me.
I am light.
The love of God enfolds me.
I am love.
The power of God protects me.
I am power.
The presence of God watches over me.
I am presence.
Wherever we are, God is.
And I am divine.